So I'm having a blast playing with the Bandido and the Lawman in this werewolf campaign, but I made a huge mistake right before game number 2, and I did not catch it until game number 4. And that is, I started using 4 for the hits for the Bandido's pistol instead of a 5, and it's just because, you know, everybody else has 4s for their 2 hits with their ranged attacks. So I thought about just scrapping it and redoing the whole thing, but I really enjoyed it, and I've finished the entire werewolf campaign, and I want to go on to another campaign, so selfishly, I don't want to redo it. I went back and looked. There are only 3 attacks where it made a difference for a total of, I think, 5 total hits. And only 1 attack did it potentially make a difference. So I elected to just move on and drive through in the middle of game number 4. I recognize it, and like I said, it doesn't make a huge difference. Could it have been game-changing? One time it could have been game-changing, potentially, but again, only 3 total attacks for a total of 5, I think 5 hits. Did it actually change anything? So I roll so bad that a 4 versus a 5 probably doesn't make a big difference. So I went ahead and did that, but just so you know up front, that among all my other mistakes that I make all the time, I made a really big one. But with that said, I don't think it really changes the outcome that much, and so I just drove on. And hopefully, you can forgive me for my huge flub. Welcome back to part B of the race through the canyons. The werewolves are hot on their heels. They've eaten all the villagers. They've torn down the village. And the heroes have only made it a third of the way through the canyons, while the darkness has made it halfway. So, let's see if our heroes can, 1, escape the werewolves without getting eaten, 2, escape any other monsters or traps that come along their way, and 3, make it to sunrise through the canyons before the darkness escapes. So, with no further ado, let's get back to the story. So the ceremonial circle is set up. There's an exploration token. I will move us 1 more, which means we can heal 1 more wound or sanity off of the Bandido. So we will take a wound. He has 4 wounds and 2 sanity now. And then that's the end of the turn. So we will flip it, and it's an encounter. So on a 1, 2, or 3, it's a werewolf encounter. 4, 5, or 6, it's regular. It's a werewolf encounter. 1 door, there's only 1 door anyway, so we'll move that out of the way. Werewolf encounter. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I guess I would do that instead of this one, even though it has its own. I gotta find the werewolf encounters. I can't remember what I did with them. This is over here. Alright. So the werewolf encounters. Broken chains. Something was chained up here in our summoning circle, but those chains are shattered and broken now. Whatever they were trying to keep here was too strong or too angry. Spirit 4. If successful, you get 10 experience. If you fail, your heart sinks at the thought of what you may yet have to face, and you have to draw a growing dread card. So, unfortunately, spirit is not our forte, and it isn't everybody does it. So the Bandido has a spirit of 3. He passes barely, getting his 10 experience. 40 back and get a 50 out. And unfortunately, once again, the Lawman has a spirit of 1. And he is going to use a grit. I do not need a growing dread card at this point. And he still fails. So, growing dread card. The pain begins to overtake you and you feel an almost irresistible urge to lay down and sleep forever. Each hero immediately takes 1 horror hit for every wound they currently have. Okay, well, the Lawman has no wounds, but the Bandido has 4. So here's his horror hits. He saves 1, so he takes 3 sanity damage, which takes him up to 5. Okay. Let's see if we can hold back the darkness. Oh! Ambush attack. So, on a 1, 2, or 3, it is a regular. 4, 5, or 6. 1, 2, or 3, it is a werewolf. It is a regular attack. Now, it's the beginning of an attack, so we'll see if they get a grit. The Bandido gets a grit. And I already know, because it's finally going to be the Scafford Highwaymen. And it's 4 this time. And it's an ambush. So it'll be 2 each. And they are +1 defense on the first turn. So the Scafford Highwaymen. They're initiative 4, but 6, so they're going first this go round. Range is 4, 1 shot. They do P damage, and they roll the D8 to hit. When making their ranged attacks, they roll its full shots against the target and every other hero adjacent to the target, so basically they're all getting shot. They have armor, and then they steal money from you every time. A hero loses $5 for every wound they take from this enemy's combat hits. And then unless they are killed, the model heals 1 wound at the end of every attack that damaged it, or had at least 1 hit assigned to it. Range 4, melee 4, 4 combat, 2 damage. Yeah, because they're up close, so they're not doing their ranged attack. Their health is 5, but their defense is 3. And they get to go first, and so there's 2 on each. 4 combat. Oh, so that's 8 attacks on each one. Alright, so red are the attacks on. I love rolling big handfuls of dice. Red are the attacks on the Bandido. White are the attacks on the Lawman. Bandido, so they are a 4 to hit. So Bandido takes 3, and the Lawman only takes 1. Wow. Those guys roll like I do. Oh, wait a minute. Lawman takes 2. There was 1 way over there. Alright, so let's look at some defense here. And was that due to the hold back the darkness? Yes, it was the double ones. So that I don't have to hold back the darkness because this was because of the hold back the darkness. So the Bandido takes 2 damage, which means that they steal. Is it for every hit, or a hero loses $5 for every wound they take? So he just had $10 stolen from him. Well, that's kind of crappy. Okay, now the Lawman gets to go. Lawman, roll to move. Not going to go anywhere. Oh, does he use... How many blood spatter space? That's +1. He's going to keep using that rifle. So he's going to attack. 2 critical hits. So that +1 didn't help him. So he's going to put it on this guy first. Rolling for damage. I screwed up because he should have been rolling his D8. But that's 2 damage. Their health is 5. Okay, well he'll roll his second one and kills it. So that's 35 experience. And now it's the Bandido's turn. Bandido will roll his 4. One hit, and he can reroll 1 because of his glasses. So 2 hits. 4. The likelihood of him getting... So their defense is 4 this turn, so he's just going to put them both on this guy. So he gets... This one does nothing. This is a 6, so he does 2 damage. And that means he gets to heal 1 wound because of his slithering tentacles at the end. So, and now it's time to hold back the darkness. Really? The canyon cliffs are unstable and prone to rock slides. Each hero in the canyons immediately takes D3 hits that do 3 damage each. Alright, so red is the Bandido. They each get 2 hits. Red again will be the Bandido. Oof. So the Bandido would take 3 damage. And the Lawman takes 6. Alright. Now their initiative is 4, which is the same, so they still get to go first. So 4 attacks on the Lawman and 8 attacks on the Bandido. And 1 hit on the Lawman and 3 hits on the Bandido. Let's roll to see if they can block them. Oh, they each take 2 damage. Which means they each lose $10. $10 and 2 damage each. Alright. Now it is the Lawman's turn, so he will roll to move. No grit. He's going to attack. He gets to reroll 1. So again, a crit and a not crit. So he's going to go for this guy behind him. With the critical, he's going to do the critical first, and he's rolling the D8. That's 2 damage. They have 5 health. He's going to use his grit and re-roll that. So he gets 5, 6, so he kills 1. So that's another 35 experience. And then he's going to do the non-critical hit on this one here. And it doesn't get through. Even with a 3 defense, nope, doesn't do anything. Alright, Bandido, roll to move. He gets a grit. He gets a grit on 1s and 2s, remember, which I've been forgetting. And now he's going to attack. Oof. He's going to use a grit and re-roll that. Much better. His eyes, and still. So 3 critical hits. He's going to assign the first one to this guy, who has 4 health left. He now has 3 health left, so he will... okay, so at the end of every attack, so we're not done attacking. So he'll use his second critical hit on him, which he only has 1 wound left, so that will kill him, giving him 35 experience. And he'll use his last critical hit on this guy. And that is 5, enough to kill him. That's 35 experience. And holy smokes, I was excited to fight them, but not anymore. So they both get to catch their breath for D3. And I'm a moron. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, the 5 is for the Lawman, 4, 5, 6, it's for the Bandido. So the Bandido gets 3, the Lawman gets 2. Bandido's going to take it all as wounds, and so is the Lawman. One loot card each. I don't think they're going to make it out of here, because they've still got to get through 10 rooms. Alright, the Lawman gets a gear card, and the Bandido gets, 150 gold. So he gets 20 experience and 150 gold. And a gear card for our Lawman. Gain 1 herb token and discard this card. 1 herb token. Oh, discard to heal 2d6 wounds. Okay, so that's actually a really good one. And he gets 20 experience as well. Put 5 over there. Okay. So, time to hold back the darkness. And they do not. Lawman can move. He gets a grid at least. And he moves 1. Bandido can move 4. And the Bandido will scavenge. And he gets something. A small find, 25 gold. Well, that's better than other things we found. Alright, time to hold back the darkness. Oh, and it's a rock slide. I remember that. So, they take D3 hits. So, red is the Bandido, white is the Lawman. Lawman takes 3, the Bandido takes 1. And so the Lawman takes 3 wounds. And he actually, no, he's gonna chance it. Alright, the Lawman moves. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll remember there's a scavenge here. Bandido gets to move 1, he gets a grit. And he moves 1. Well, at least they're even again. Let's see if they can hold back the darkness. 8, they do. Good. Alright, Lawman moves. Well, at least he gets a grit. He can't get off this darn tile, but he's back up at his max grit. Bandido. He actually has his max grit already, so he rolled again. So he will take 5 experience and he will look through and see what we find on the other side here. Whitewater, a river crossing. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 we'll do the Whitewater. Oh. Put an expiration down. let me get the whitewater crossing and we will continue. Okay, so the whitewater crossing. First we'll do an exploration token. We have an encounter. Well, there's only one door, so that doesn't matter. And then there's a clue icon. Finally, a clue icon. But for the encounter, first it's 1, 2, or 3, it'll be a werewolf. 4, 5, or 6, we do the river crossing. Oh, it's a werewolf encounter, so we don't do the river crossing. And because we got this clue token, we actually get to move, instead of just the one space, a P3 die worth of spaces. We've also, because it's going to move, you know what's interesting? Let me see. If we move, do we get to heal 1 for each space we move? Or is it just, whenever it moves a space on the depth track, heal 1 wound or sanity? So if you move 3 or 4 or 5, I guess that's each one's a space. So anyway, so let's see, before we do our encounter, how far do we move the posse marker? 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I still don't think there's any chance we're gonna make it. We'll get a werewolf encounter. We get to heal some wounds and stuff because of the moving. We're going to do a combination of sanity and wounds. And now I think that's everything. So the werewolf encounter is howling in the distance. I thought we did. No, this isn't the same one we did. You stop in your tracks as a chill runs down your spine. In the distance you hear the unmistakable howl of wolves hunting their prey. Yep, and we're running like all get out. All heroes immediately take 2 horror hits that do 3 sanity damage each. Any hero that takes a sanity damage from this must also lose a grit. Also, the next beast enemy group you encounter is +1 combat. Ugh. So we do 2 horror hits each. So red will be the Bandido. White will be the Lawman. Oh my goodness. You know what? They're each going to spend a grit and re-roll. Alright, so they each take 1 instead of 2 now. So, and it does 3 each, and they also lose a grit. So they each lose their 1 grit they have, and they each take 3 sanity. And that was the encounter. Alright, so now we got to hold back the darkness. And we don't. And we get another darkness card. Demon Force. All demon enemies are now +1 combat. Okay, so 2 things. Alright, so now the lawmen can move. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bandido can move. 3. 1, 2, 3. Now it's Bandido will scavenge because I forgot to do it with the lawman. He doesn't get anything. So, hold back the darkness. 6, 7, 8, we're in the 8 area, so we actually did it. Holy guacamole. Alright, the lawman gets to move. 3. So he's going to look through the door and get his 5 experience. At least they should be able to level up at some before the next adventure, or if they get in too much trouble on this one. So we're going to map short passage with no exploration token. I'm normally not happy about that, but this time I am. Especially because it's short. We move 1 more. We get to heal 1. Lawman has 4 wounds. And the Bandido has 5 wounds and 6 sanity, so he's going to heal a sanity. And now the Bandido moves. 3. 1, 2, 3, and they're right there together again. Alright, hold back the darkness. It's a race against time now. Oh, my goodness. Creeping darkness. Move the darkness 2 steps forward. 1, 2. So we passed a grow in dread. Oh, I think we are done. The darkness moves 1 step forward on the depth track. Wait, no, this is the same one we did last time. Whoops, I must put it at the front instead of the back. The air turns sour, your mouth and your nostrils burn as you gasp for breath. The stench of rotting death and pain is everywhere. Every hero takes 2 horror hits. For each willpower save failed, they also take d6 wounds as they vomit uncontrollably. Alright, so the Lawman, he saves 1, so he takes d6 wounds. Of course, he takes 6 wounds, which takes him to 10, so he's only got 2 left. The Bandido, he doesn't save either of them, so he takes 2 sanity, and he takes 4 wounds. So how does he manage to get 4 with 2 rolls? Okay, alright, well, that was that. Lawman gets to move. 1, he gets a grit. I'd rather go spaces, but the Bandido gets to move. 1, he gets a grit. Alright. Hold back the darkness. 9, they do. Wow. Alright, Lawman gets to move. 3, so he's going to look through. He's going to flip a map tile. What do we have? A canyon clearing. Let me put that together. Okay, so now it is the Bandido's turn to move. There's no going back because the werewolves are behind us, so he moves 2. He's going to stop right there with the Lawman. Flip the exploration token. Oh, a clue and 2 encounters. Okay, encounter 1, is it a werewolf? No, it's regular. Encounter 2 is a werewolf. So 1 werewolf and 1 regular encounter. Werewolf and then 1 regular. Okay. And then we get to move, this moves, oh, it's going to move P4. Or P, peril dice forward. Ooh, 6, and we could actually get out of here. And of course it's a 3. 1, 2, 3, so we actually get to do a little bit of healing. Because we moved. And now the 2 encounters. So, first encounter, tattered rags. This is a werewolf encounter. Tattered and bloody rags litter the floor here. The remains of clothes were these torn from the unfortunate victim of a beast or cast off during the transformation itself. A lore 5, which if you pass, you get 10 experience. If you fail, you take 3 horror hits. And then the second is the white buffalo. Shimmering in the light of the setting sun, a massive white buffalo steps into the valley before you. In awe of its wonder, you summon the courage to approach the majestic creature, reaching out your hand. Spirit and lore 6. If successful, gain 30 experience, and you are blessed by the white buffalo. You may cancel 1 darkness or growing dread card in play for each 6+ rolled on the test. If failed, he takes offense at your disrespect, and for every 1 or 2, you take wounds. Okay. I need to look something up real quick. Okay. Okay, so I think we're going to do the tattered rags first, which is everybody takes a lore. Everybody has to take a lore test. The Bandido is lore 3, so Get rid of that now. He passes. Okay. And he gets another whopping 10 experience points. He could level up at some point. He's got enough. And lore 2, so he fails, so he takes 3 horror hits. And he saves 2 of them, so he takes 1 horror, 1 sanity damage. Alright, and now spirit and lore. Okay, it's got to be the Bandido because his spirit and lore are 3 as opposed to a 2 and a 1. So, alright, so let's do spirit. This is the spirit, and he passes and gets a 6. And now let's do the lore. Oh, darn, I wish that wouldn't have dropped because it was a 6. Oh, and he gets 2 more 6s, so he gets 30 experience. And for each 6, he can cancel a darkness or a growing dread card. Well, we have the howling in the distance, so the beasts will know. Oh, that's an encounter. It's not a darkness. Well, I guess he'll get rid of that 1 darkness for demon enemies. And we don't have any growing dread cards in play because they're getting played as we go. But anyway, 2 encounters done, which is good. And time to hold back the darkness. So we are... Oh, this is tough. I'm going to have to go the shortest way. But hold back the darkness. A 7 does not. Oh man, we're like even. So darkness card. Okay, that's the same one I just got rid of. And it just happens to be they were back to back. Okay, well, right back in play. Well, I can think of a lot worse ones. Alright, so Lawman 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he can look through. He's going to draw another map card. It is Jagged Cliffs. So let me find the Jagged Cliffs. And an exploration. And now it is the Bandido's turn. And he can only go 2. 1, 2. And now let's flip it. 2 encounters. And this one has the Cliffs Have Eyes encounter and then 1 additional encounter. So is it a werewolf or is it a regular? It's a werewolf. And I guess we should roll actually to see if this is a werewolf or if it's the one we actually do. Nope, so we're doing 2 werewolf encounters. I would have rather done that one. So the next 2 werewolf encounters. Smell of fear. There is a stillness in the air here, and you can't shake the feeling that you are being watched. Hunted even. Duh. There's something out there lurking in the darkness, waiting to strike. A lore 6 test, if successful. If you fail, all enemies are +1 combat for every 5 sanity damage their target currently has. And then the other is Hunting the Hunters. Staring into the darkness, you can't help but know that it is staring back. With every step you take, it follows soon. Very soon it will strike. At the end of any turn in which a hero posse marker does not move forward on the depth track, the darkness moves 1 space forward instead. Discard this card when either the hero posse or the darkness marker crosses into a new stage. Oh no. So if we don't move forward, it moves forward. That's the end of this. We're done. But let's do the lore 6 for the Bandido because he has a lore of 3. And he fails, so our next combat is going to be very problematic. Alright, so hold back the darkness. We do not. The Lawman moves 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so at least we don't have that issue. So, map. I need an exploration token. No exploration token. We've got a cross path, but at least it's fairly short. And we move this one more. Oh, we're each one away. We move that one more. Oh, there's no exploration token. We actually could have used one for this. And heal a wound. He'll heal a wound. And now it is the Bandido's turn. 4. There is a piece here, so he can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, it's time to hold back the darkness. 7, we do not. And a Growing Dread card. Any heroes that voluntarily flee from this adventure are considered to be KO'd and must roll on the injury table. Well, we ain't doing that, so we aren't going to flee. So, alright, Lawman's turn. I gotta roll high or it's over. He's at his max grit, so that's 1 plus 1, 2. Crap. 1, 2. Alright, well. Now the Bandido, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He can move one more. So we move this up 1. Oh man. Move that 1. Well, actually we have to wait. Draw a card. It's the Man-Eater Cactus. The Man-Eater Cactus. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. Spin this around this way. And let me find the Man-Eater Cactus. What does that one look like? Nope, that's not it. Looks similar. Okay. The long one. Okay. Exploration token. It is the end of the turn. It's a clue encounter. Oh! Thank goodness. Look at this. Alright. Oh. A 5. Boom, boom. We actually make it. We escape by 1. Holy guacamole, man. Get to ignore everything else. So, when the hero posse marker has reached the darkness start space on the depth track, the full moon is setting and the morning sunrise is on the horizon. Once any remaining enemies on the board have been defeated, and there are... Oh, we got an encounter. Because we have to see if there are any attacks first. So as long as the encounter is not an attack, I think we win. Then the reward would be we get to remove any number of corruption points we currently have and gains +1 health for surviving the ordeal. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, it's a werewolf encounter. 4, 5, 6, it's a regular encounter. Ooh, it's a werewolf encounter. Ugh. The walls and floors here are slashed and clawed, deep grooves. If successful, cunning 5. if more than half the heroes fail the test, we can't do more than half, and it's underlined. So I think we will be okay. So a cunning 5. So cunning, all right, Bandido's cunning is 2. He fails. But Lawman's cunning is 4. And he gets his 5. Alright, so he gets 20 experience points. And not more than half failed. So let me give him his 20 experience points. That means that one is done. That means we now have moved through and we actually won. Holy smokes. I mean, this was right here. One more failure of the darkness and we were done. So they each, as their reward, they get to run. They're going to find a town to go to heal. They can each remove any number of corruption points. So they both had 2 corruption, so the corruption can be gone. Oh, you know what? So I wonder if that's before or after the Darkstone corruption roll. You know, I actually have to look at that. Okay, so I looked this up. At the end of each adventure, you recover if KO'd, then you fully heal your health and sanity, you remove any status effects markers, resolve any reward failure results for the mission, then you roll for corruption from Darkstone. So that means that they can heal those 2 corruption, but then they have to roll for their Darkstone corruption. So they each heal their 2 corruption. They get to heal all of their wounds. They each actually have gained +1 health, which is kind of cool. So they get +1 health for surviving this ordeal. And get rid of this, all their damage. And now they've got to roll for corruption. They actually saved. They didn't have to use any of their side bag items, because the one they did use was whatever his spirit animal thing was. We did not have any ancient horrors, so we didn't get any money for that. Alright, but let's see. The Bandido has 1 Darkstone. Does he take a corruption hit? I think it's on a 1, 2, or 3 they do. So he takes a corruption hit. And he gets to roll his willpower. Alright, so willpower save, and he saves it. Alright. The Lawman has 3 Darkstone. He takes 1 corruption hit, willpower save, and he saves it. So they actually did okay. Next time, the Bandido and the Lawman are going to head to town. They're going to sell some stuff. They will have to level up before the next adventure. Decide if this rune of the Traveler gets used, and what they're going to do. But at this point, they have gotten away. The sun has come up. They left a town destroyed, but ran through the canyons and barely made it by the skin of their teeth. So their bond continues to grow, and after they get to town, we will figure out what to do next. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you had a good time. I had a great time. I got to fight some enemies I hadn't fought before. And that one was really close. So if I made any mistakes, I apologize. I'm sure I did. And as close as this was, hopefully it didn't change the outcome. But alright, until next time, happy gaming, and I'll see you in town.